hit enter, and it asks for a password. Now the password is on page 45 or something of the book I have, but I think this, to do the defaults, is a standard enough one. It is 3211. That brings you into, let's say, another program, right? So again, we go down through it because we're looking for default. Default. We hit enter, and again it looks for the password. Same password, 3211. Now it's gone back into the defaults. Now I have this thing on, and before I switch it off, I'm going to reset my defaults. I just so that done for something I'm fiddling with at a minute. Normally what you should see here is 0.005. If you're on absolute, it's something else, increments. But that's basically just resetting what I've already fiddled with my defaults, basically. Probably you shouldn't do, but it's that's your default reset. And to exit out of that, the CE just above enter takes you back to set parameters, takes you back there, and you'll find that everything should work then. From what I've figured out on the factory reset, things need to be seriously wrong before you go down that road. But again, it's much the same thing. You go in here to where we got the defaults. You put in that 3211 for the first time. When it comes back around, you put in the code that they give you, and then it throws up x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, and there's two other things I can't think of them off the top of my head now. But for each one of those, as they come up, you put in this code, it comes back up, you put in the factory code, then it moves, when you hit enter, then it goes on to the next one, and there's a whole dance of things, but I think I've kind of figured now that it is probably easy enough to do. But the second code number depends, and it's not anything like the serial number, but it depends. You give them the serial number and they give you the code then that you can fiddle around with that, and they kind of say if that doesn't work, you send it back immediately. So that's that. I had all that zeroed, hadn't I? And there are the parameters I'm working on. Yeah, that's right. I'll just zero them again. That's done for various offsets. I'm doing a thing here. You trust me, I don't want to know all my head right with it, but it's working out. One done already. I'm happy with it. I just have two more to do. So that's basically it. Now, I think another problem. Yes, after I initially got it sorted, at the end of the last video, which is over a month ago now, I suppose. First morning I come out, plug into the wall, turn on the power, and all I get is these two lines. Nothing, no, you hit all the buttons, nothing would happen. So, through trial and error, I discovered that to solve that problem, what you do is, no, I'm not going to do it here now because as I say, my thing's set. Just turn it on, and if that happens, when nothing happens here, leave it for a minute or so, probably warm up or whatever, because I happened to walk away from it. So I was, of course, done for my coffee. I came back, I switched it on off a few times, no good. So I tried various buttons here, switching off, and I discovered that switch off, press this button, switch the power back on, and it'll light up like this, but you still won't have a response from anything. All you do is knock the power off again, knock it back on, and the whole thing, you don't need to go to default or anything. It's odd. It's only happened one morning since I was away for a few days there working, and again I was out. And shooting off on the first fire up first morning, lines, nothing here. So I thought, yeah, I just left it for a minute, and back, knock it off, press this guy, knock the power on, and nothing, so just knock the power off, knock it on. Everything works. These are actually working. I just go to default or anything. But that works for me. If that happens, which from now on for the rest of the season I'm going to be away quite a lot, so the beach is going to be plugged out. And I've actually done it purposely a few times just to check that it does work. That works for me. Now there's nothing about it in the manual, but it works. You just come up with a half screen, quarter screen, you know, whatever. Just let it warm up, switch it off, hold this guy pressed, switch it on. I think once, yeah, everything worked then, but normally you wind up doing another cycle, you know, power off, power on, everything works. No messing around with default settings or anything, it's just whatever cantankerous thing it has. So, that is my experience with it. That's how you actually get the default reset. And you can reset your default depends on what measurements you want things to work at. So the normal thing is 0.005. But if you, it helps if you're fitting with other awkward stuff. And you really need a CNC for or something. You can set it and you know, if you can clashes it will stop the actual straight away. That's what we do at the minute. You can move the same stuff you can do with it. So there's one of the reactions. But how I got mine working was resetting the default. But getting these buttons working can be a bit of grief. Go back to power on with this guy pressed, knock it off, knock it on, everything should work. This allows you then to get in here and you cycle down to set parameters, hit enter, enter your code, cycle down again until you get default, hit enter, 3211 your code in. And once default comes back up again, hit this guy once, twice, and you're back here. It should be working. If they're not working, there's a problem here. But that's easy enough to figure that out. All you do is if you have one working, try them all in it. And that one pull in the back. You know then whether they're working or not. You know whether you're coming back here for the problem. So that's it. Sorry about the delay in getting back to this. We're going to just go do that now before I get finished with this thing.